Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Math Puzzle Crash Course. This is a video that I've wanted to do for a while. I've done some similar videos going into this topic, but I feel like it's one that I have to keep coming back to because there's so much of a misunderstanding around not only PEMDAS, but frankly all of the acronyms like BODMAS, BEDMAS, BIDMAS, any of those. There's really a huge misunderstanding. And the title of the video even is PEMDAS is not a six-step checklist. And I feel like I have to keep driving that one home sometimes when I'm going through and discussing a lot of these problems with people, whether they're leaving comments here on the YouTube channel, Facebook, wherever. Once again, we'll run through this. This may be new to some people, or perhaps you're one of the people who has a misunderstanding on PEMDAS. And then these arguments also apply to BODMAS as well. They're not arguments. These are actually this is actually how it works. First of all, PEMDAS, yes, it does have six letters, but you need to understand what they represent. First of all, the P is for parentheses, okay? The E is for exponents. Parentheses are just grouping symbols. They're telling us that we need to solve everything inside of them using the order of operations. We need to prioritize any exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction that we find inside of those parentheses first. Now, if we don't have any parentheses, we move on, we look for any exponents in the problem. Are there any exponents? Now, exponents are just nothing more than shorthand for repeated multiplication. 5 to the second power is the same thing as 5 times 5. It's just a shorthand way of writing it out. 5 to the third power, 5 cubed is 5 times 5 times 5. Those are equivalent. It's just a shorthand. Think of it as a shorthand way of writing out repeated multiplication. Now, if you don't have any exponents, we move on. Now, I will say the e and the exponents, that also includes things like factorials. It includes square roots. Basically anything else that also would be repeated multiplication, that falls under that category. If you're from the UK or somewhere else where you might be familiar with BODMAS, which also gives you the same answer as PEMDAS, they use orders. Orders is the O in BODMAS. Orders is kind of a nice term. I actually like that term because orders is a more generic term covering exponents, factorials, square roots, and so on. A little bit off topic on that one, but I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Again, then your third step, you have multiplication and division. Now, multiplication and division have equal precedence, and you would solve those left to right. Just remember that division is equivalent to multiplication by a reciprocal. So they're the same level. You do not do m, just because the m is before the d does not mean you have to solve multiplication before division. That's not what that represents. And the same is true for the last part, the a and the s. Subtraction is nothing more than adding a negative number. So addition and subtraction have equal precedence. You just solve them left to right. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even matter what order you solve those. You could do all your subtraction first. You could do all the addition first, if you know how to do it correctly. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more because I see people getting the wrong answer because they're trying to force things. They actually people believe that addition comes before subtraction, and they're getting the wrong answer based on that assumption. Uh, the order of operations is only 4 steps. It's not six. The six letters does not mean it's 6 steps. You just have your parentheses, your exponents. Third step is your multiplication and division left to right. Your fourth step is your addition and subtraction. And again, just because if you don't have parentheses does not mean you throw out the order of operations. A lot of people have a huge misunderstanding about that, and they think, well, you just solve left to right unless there's parentheses. That is false. Um, and the same is true if you don't have any exponents. You move on to the next step. And so a lot of times in these problems, you're starting already at step 3. You're skipping 1 and 2 and going straight to 3. You're looking for multiplication and division. in the third step. And here's a really good example. This one I think is a really good example that highlights the misunderstanding of PEMDAS. It's 3 plus 3 times 3 minus 3 plus 3. And I see a number of people claiming that PEMDAS gives them the answer of 6. And where they're blowing this problem up is on the addition and subtraction portion when you're getting to the end. And I'll explain that a little bit more as we go on. People who are saying PEMDAS tells them 6, it's absolutely wrong. Okay, we're going to start off right away and say that's incorrect. The mistake that people are making who get 6, they assume that addition is before subtraction. They think that PEMDAS is telling them, well, look, the A is before the S, so they're trying to force it. They're trying to force addition before subtraction. So they start out correctly. They do understand that multiplication does have precedence, and you do the multiplication first. So the first step that these people make is correct. 3 times 3 is 9. And then you're left with 3 plus 9 minus 3 plus 3. So they're right about that. But 3 plus 9 is 12, right? So, you're okay so far. Adding up the 3 and the 9, 12 minus 3 plus 3. The very next step is where this goes off the rails. All right, what they're doing, and it's taken me a while to figure out. Sometimes I spend a lot of time trying to figure out how do people come up with these consistently incorrect answers. So in their mind, since they think addition comes first, they're only looking at this 3 plus 3, okay? They got the 12 right. They got to that part. But then they're looking at this 3 plus 3 and they're saying, well, look, the A comes before the S. So that means I must add 3 plus 3 before I subtract anything, all right? So basically, they're thinking that they have to add 3 plus 3 because they believe in that 6-step PEMDAS. That's incorrect. That's wrong. What they don't understand is that you would have to put parentheses around the 3 plus 3 in order to get 6. This this uh, this equation that you see right here is correct. 12 minus the quantity 3 plus 3 in parentheses does equal 6. But parentheses are required to get the answer of 6, and there's no parentheses at all in this problem. Subtraction is the addition of a negative number. We've already stated that, right? I didn't state that. Civilization stated that. I mean, all you have to do is look this stuff up online. Don't just take my word for it. Please go look it up. And you're going to find out the correct answers. Subtraction is the addition of a negative number. The minus sign only affects this 3, all right? I'm going to switch over to a pen. This minus sign, if I can find my cursor. The minus sign only affects this 3. It has nothing whatsoever to do with this 3 over here. It's 12 minus 3 plus 3 equals 12. If you don't believe me, take this part of it right here. Take this part of it, enter it into any calculator. And I know I've had other videos where I go into detail about the difference between expression mode, immediate execution mode, how your cheap dollar store calculator can give you the wrong answer. But that's if you're mixing multiplication, addition, subtraction, division. You basically have to mix one of the two, addition with multiplication or division. This is straight up addition and subtraction, folks. And yet I still see people get this wrong. Where the people who are getting 6 are failing at mixing addition and subtraction, which I would consider to be the very simplest thing that you could do. And so it doesn't matter. You can take your Dollar Tree calculator and you're going to get 12. 12 minus 3 plus 3 is 12. Um, yeah, that's PEMDAS, and I've mentioned this before too. PEMDAS is not some mystical chant made by monks. It's based on the relationship between multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. And here's a graphic I found that really does a good job of explaining this. These are the precedence rules basically for simplifying. And a lot of this was the roots of this stuff goes all the way back to the 1600s AD, at least in Western civilization. It wouldn't surprise me if you go further back and find out that, Egyptians or Babylonians had something way before that. But a lot of previous history is not very well recorded, but in Western civilization, this goes back a long way. Basically, again, this is highlighting the fact that you simplify inside of your brackets or parentheses. Number two is your exponents. And again, I mentioned other acronyms. There's not just PEMDAS. There's things like BOMDAS, BODMAS or BOMDAS, however you want to use it. And again, the multiply and divide part, it doesn't matter which one it is, PEMDAS or BODMAS. They have equal priority. You're just going left to right. And add and subtract, equal priority. You just go left to right. And then they have some other examples here as well that cover that. But I just wanted to go back through this and try to explain this problem because I've seen a lot of people getting the answer of six, and they'll defend that answer because they said, "Well, look, it's PEMDAS. I was taught PEMDAS." But the problem is they misunderstand it. So I hope this video has cleared it up for some people. I know you might not be one of those people. You might have a perfectly good understanding of PEMDAS, and you're probably asking, "Well, why does this guy spend so much time on this?" Well, if you saw the number of incorrect answers out there on this problem, you would understand why I do. Sometimes you have to spend a lot of time on the fundamentals before you can move forward. And I'm seeing a lot of people failing at these basic fundamentals. So wanted to get that out there. I do hope everybody's having a great day. I look forward to seeing everybody in future videos. And I would appreciate it too if this has been helpful in any way. This is something that you want to share with somebody that maybe you've, had a discussion with someone else and you want to use this and show them this. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe. All that stuff helps the channel grow. We've been around at this now for a little over a year, I guess. And I'd like to keep this up and maybe have some more content. So I appreciate everybody who's stuck it out this long. I know it's been a longer video, but I do appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, everybody.